Sometimes a talented story based on motifs takes on a life of its own, gradually passing into the category of generally accepted truth. In the case of the Battle of the Ice, Alexander Eisenstein's brilliant film Alexander Nevsky served as the primary source. Basically from the film and from the later works of pseudo-historians, not supported later by factual material, arose the legend of the battle. The battle was on the ice of Lake Peipsi. The ice was breaking under the weight of the knights shod in steel. The Livonians attacked with a pig. The knights suffered catastrophic losses. They were countered by an army of united Russia. Victory stopped the crusade against Russia. On the ice or on the shore. The Chronicle of the Livonian Order, written from the words of eyewitnesses and for internal use, that is without much of a lie, says that the fallen warriors fell on the grass, but not on the ice. And the battle took place in early April, when the ice had already thawed. Most likely, the battle took place somewhere on the shore of Lake Peipsi. Was there an ice font for the knights? It was previously believed that the knights fell through the ice because they were much heavier than the Russian soldiers. However, this was not the case. And the battle on the thawing ice is equally dangerous for the knights, and for Russian heavily armed warriors. Studying the combat equipment of the then Russian and foreign riders, its weight can be estimated at about 20 to 25 kilograms. A knight, other things being equal, would weigh 5 to 10 kilograms heavier than a Russian. The weight of a horse is 400 to 450 kilograms. The weight of the warrior 70 to 80 kilograms. People then were small by today's standards. Weight of armor, weapons and equipment 20 to 25 kilograms. So the knightly writhing, an artistic device of Eisenstein. Was there a pig? For the first time the Great Pig is mentioned in an instruction on military affairs from 1477. First row, 5 knights, second, 9 knights, third, 13 knights, and so on. The described wedge of heavily armed horsemen could indeed crush any formation, if it were allowed to do so. In 1242 the knights probably moved in a rectangular column of cavalry. Such a formation is also called a pig, by the way. Not much good either, especially when the column picks up speed. On Lake Peipsi, most likely, the knights were tied up by swooping light cavalry, not allowed to accelerate, and then surrounded by heavily armed cavalry and cut almost completely. How many dogs were killed? The Novgorod Chronicle tells about 400 killed and 50 prisoners of war. Livonians, about the death of 20 knights and the capture of 6. Though without mentioning the casualties among the soldiers and the militia. Most likely 35 to 40 knights from the side of the order took part in the battle. In the best years the Livonians had up to 100 to 120 knights. Each knight carried 3 to 4 knights, battle servants. The army was supported by light cavalry Chudin, Chud, Estonian, of 100 to 200 warriors. In such a situation, the defeat of the Livonians was almost disastrous. The anti-Livonian educational activities involved Alexander Nevsky's princely retinue, 200 to 400 horsemen, Novgorod City Regiment, about 200 horsemen, the detachment of Yaroslav Vsevolodovich, the Grand Duke. All in all about 800 of ours played against the foreigners. A great victory or a battle of local significance. In enlightening the foreigners the Russians do not succeed in eternal conciliations. As long as the descendants of those defeated in Russian lands are alive, and as long as they tell what are actually Russian barbarians in battle, Russia is feared to attack. But the defeated depart from life. Their truthful stories are forgotten. Those who want heroic deeds and easy life at the expense of others once again pump themselves full of tales about their own awesomeness and worthlessness of the barbarians against civilized warriors of light. And everything repeats. Thanks to the victory of Alexander Nevsky managed to return the lands seized by the Livonian order and gain 30 years of peace on the western frontiers.